for the presentation. Can you give me more information about your role within the organization for the Silesia World Championship Relay?
Yeah, so as I said, I was accreditation manager, but I was responsible as well for the event access, for the venue access, and I worked together with the venue manager, competition manager, and especially transport manager. So I was responsible for setting all the data and the areas and the walkways, the routes at the stadium, at the venue, the venue access. I mean the gates. People are entering the stadium, and we worked together with the venue manager and safety and security manager regarding all the procedures at the stadium, at the venue, to organize the event. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Just to make a quick presentation of your work, before you use the Sword venue, what are the main challenges your organization facing for your event?
So we started preparations for the event like 1 year before the event, and I joined the LOC team like in September. So that was 8 months before the event, and when we had the first site visit with the World Athletics, the main challenge, the main issue was the pandemic, the COVID. So we didn't know exactly what to expect before organizing that event and what impact the COVID can have on our event. And in general, this was the main challenge. But from my side, from the accreditation side and point of view, the main challenge was to set all the routes and the walkways at the stadium, and to set all the areas to make it for one particular group and not to mix all these groups like media, athletes, etc. So it was the main challenge. It was the more difficult to do that because the Silesian Stadium is placed on the slope. So at one side of the stadium, if you are on the level, like ground level, on the other side, on the opposite side, it's like level number 2. When you are creating the maps, it's difficult to show on one map, if you want to show one level, the routes and the areas which contain and consist of 2 or 3 levels.
Okay, thank you. And so always before you use the Sword venue, how was the planning modeling of event done before Sword venue, and what kind of tool do you use to realize your event setup?
So we didn't have one particular tool to use. Mainly as the core of the team, we used Microsoft PowerPoint.
Okay.
But this tool is tool for the presentations. It's really nice when you have some picture on it and you can input some map on it, create some flows and show it on the map. But this is the tool for presentations. This is a tool for showing the people what you want them to see, but it's not perfect for planning. And you know, it's quite tricky when you have like 1, 2, or 3 versions of the same file. You need to send it to your friends, to your teammates. They need to analyze it and then send it back, and someone is working on another version of this file. And in general, after 2 or 3 weeks, there are 10 versions of the same file, and yeah, it's difficult to work on one big map, and not everyone is using the same template. So some of the team members, of the LOC members, used like Paint to create some map. And yeah, it was fine if you worked like 2 or 3 people in a really core team with the venue manager. But when you want to show the information and the data and cooperate with the LOC, the really big LOC, like we had more or less 30 people in the LOC. So when you work with such a big group, it's difficult. So we just wanted to have some solution and some tool which could help us to work all together on the same file.
Okay, and how did you gather all the feedbacks before Sword Venue? They send you an email or some Excel sheet, or?
With the number data, we worked on Excel sheet, which was quite convenient. But with the maps and some graphic, we just were sending the emails, and we had like the one space in the cloud, where we had all of the files we needed and we worked on.
Okay, thank you for this introduction. So this was your job before you use Sword Venue, so everybody understands. So, and Alicia, if you have some question, we are in a little committee of persons, so do not hesitate to interrupt us and to ask maybe some question if you have this in mind. So now, Mateusz, can you share with us your Sword Venue instance?
Yes.
To show us how did you work with our solution and what is the result of that. But before, how did you hear about Sword Venue?
So I heard about that from the World Athletics. We had the site visit with the World Athletics. It was in February 21 or maybe March. And we had a meeting with Jeff from the World Athletics, and he showed us this solution, this tool. And yeah, at the first point, I didn't know what exactly it is, but when I saw how he works with that with Sword Venue, I asked him if it's possible to work together on the same file and cooperate together. And yes, we've been introduced with this file from the World Athletics.
Okay, and I can ask you why did you choose Sword Venue, but I think the people from the World Athletics Federation ask you to use the solution, or they suggest you to use the solution, or what is the relationship between you and the IF to use a setup event solution?
It was like a question and proposal if we want to see that and if we want to learn how to use that and then use it. So it was we got the proposal from the World Athletics if we want to join them and work on the same file.
Okay, so and then you have accepted, and I have created during this period multiple accounts for people from the IF and for the people of the LOC. So
yes.
Can you show us in Sword Venue what you have made with the solution? I saw that now you are on the Stadion Silesia for the World Championship Relay, and you have created multiple of multiple of elements into our application. So can you zoom on one of your items works for and explain how you have did it?
Yes, sure. Do you see my screen? Yes, you see that?
Yeah, right? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So just at the first point, as I said before, so one side of the stadium was the lower part of the stadium. So the east side was the lower part of the stadium, and it contained the warm-up one and another warm-up and some of the parkings. And on the west side of the stadium, the ground level was much, much higher. And for us, it's really important to understand also for you how it worked, that when you watch the map from the Google Maps, you don't see the level difference, but in general, in real, it is. So just remember that this part of the stadium is much higher than this part of the stadium. Okay, so when I zoom it, let's say here, we have the inner areas of the stadium, and this level is, as you can see, level -1. So all this area in here was like the competition zone. We had the training and warm-up area this side and with the track around the pitch. And in here, there was another warm-up for the throws.
And it was difficult for you to design all this shape, space, lines, etc.?
Actually, some part of this of all these shapes, like 50%, were already done by Jeff from the World Athletics.
Okay.
I just needed to input the routes and the walkways, and it was my most important job. And as you can see, all these yellow dots, so these are the access control boards. I just wanted to input the data and the boards and the locations of the boards on the map. So for the zoning at the stadium, we exactly knew where to put the accreditation board.
Okay, fine. In terms of integration of our solution, how was the integration with your organization, with a local organization committee?
So I was the most involved one in this project, in cooperation with the sport venue. We worked together with the venue manager, competition manager, and the transport manager. So most of the decisions and most of the plans and ideas in our heads were done before. We just needed to input the information and the data on the maps. As I said before, most of us used PowerPoint, but I just wanted to know how the sport venue works. Maybe it's because I've been studying civil engineering and I knew AutoCAD very, very much. So I have always wanted to have some solution and some tool for planning the events, and it was very nice to me. So in general, I was the only one using that tool to input the data, and then I was just creating the reports, printing the maps, and sending to other LOC members.
Yeah, and I saw you that you are connected during the night sometimes.
Yes. You know, all this event, it was the most complicated, I mean, and very very tough event for us I have ever worked on, especially because of the COVID. And from my side, from my accreditation point of view, I had to work strictly together with the medical manager, and yeah, we have put a lot of work in that project. We worked very, very often overnight because we had so much to do. And yeah, at the beginning, when we started let's say in September, 7 or 8 months before the event, we had like 7 or 8 ideas how to create and where to create the accreditation center, and where to create the COVID center for the testing purpose. So at the beginning, we didn't know how to do it properly and where to place all these areas. We had really many ideas, and for each idea we had to prepare the procedure, like for the athletes arrival, testing, accreditation. So yeah, we have spent a lot of time in planning. So what you can see now at the Sword venue is just the final part and final solution we used for us. But at the first point, at the very beginning, we even considered to create the accreditation, the main accreditation center at the city center of Katowice, which was far away, a few kilometers from the stadium.
Okay.
And it was one of our ideas. But in general, when we finished planning, we just put all this data into the system, into Sword venue. But now, after the event, I can see that Sword venue is really helpful in planning. So you can put at the very beginning all this data on the maps, and you can clearly see what are the possibilities and what are the advantages and disadvantages of some solutions. You can create some layers. So each idea you can input on another layer and then just compare it.
Okay. In terms of collaboration with our team, how is your evaluation?
Very, very well, and thank you once again for this help. You know, Eric was helping us to implement into the system our ideas and solutions. So anytime we had some problem or issue or just a question or request, you helped us, and yeah, once again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you too. For the CAD file, I will just to make a quick.
Sorry, Eric. Just sorry for interrupting you. I just reminded one thing we asked you, because we wanted to have some solution to show. Let's see here. So here is the entrance and here is the lift. We wanted to show to have some solution how to show on the map that there is the difference of the levels, or there is a lift, or there is a staircase. So yeah, when we asked, you just uploaded some icons for the lift and for the staircase level difference.
Yeah, and I think we have recreate in a hurry the last level of the CAD file.
Yes, it was. It was.
So this is my question. Do you think Sword venue improve your daily basis work? Is it accelerate your work in a daily basis?
Yes, it improved my work, but it's really important that the whole team, the whole LOC team, works with that solution, with that tool from the very beginning. The sooner you start working all together from scratch and start inputting data and creating maps in this tool, the less people want to use another tool, because, as I said, we started working on different tools, different programs, and we had done a lot of work before we were presented the sword venue. So for average people, when you start working on some program and you have done like 50, 60, 70% of your job, you don't want to change and create and start from scratch again. So it's really important when you start working. Let's make it that the whole team, the whole LOC work together on one common tool.
Okay, perfect. And I think you mostly used the event designer model. I do not know if you make some PDF export to share with the people of the organization, of the people of the global administration, local administration from Silesia. Do you work with the external people with the Sword venue?
No, it was only for the internal people, for the LOC.
Okay.
When we wanted to share something, let's say with the fans, I mean, a few days before the competition, there was a decision that no fans are allowed. So we couldn't let the people in because of the pandemic. But we wanted to inform them how it works and what are the maps of this area. In general, when you see on the stadium, all this area is like the closed area of the Silesian Park. So there are a lot of companies and infrastructure in here, and people need to enter that area just to work. And we wanted to inform them how it works and how the entrances for the park are going to work in these days, because the capacity of the parkings is limited, and we needed to cooperate and send the information to these people working at this area. So when we wanted to do it, we wanted to have like the really nice graphical maps, and we created that. Our graphic designer did it in another graphic tool, just to send the people the information, the visual information, and to make it really nice and to give it a really nice look. But for our purposes and for our work, these maps were really nice, so you can see very clearly where is the parking for the main testing center, where is the bus, where is the main accreditation center, where are the toilets, the temporary toilets, the gates, etc. So all the routes we had in this system, and it was for our work. So I just created the reports and the maps, or even just the print screens from this tool, and sent to our colleagues, to the LOC members, to confirm something.
Can you move to another level of your stadium?
Yes, I can move, because this part is like a very close part at the level -1, at the ground level number 0. The stadium
that was one of my questions.
Yeah, Alicia?
That was going to be one of my questions. Can you sort of layer on and off each level?
Yes. Yes, yeah. You can change it. On the right side, you have the buttons, so you can choose the levels, and you can set and align some of the elements you have printed, you have drawn, and you can assign it to particular level. So let's say, I don't know, or maybe let's say about this one. This is the entrance and the route for the VIPs, for the VVIPs. So here is internal parking. They were entering here. they left the car inside, and on this level, they entered the inside the venue, inside the object, and entered this way, this orange way. But this one level is level 0. If I click it, if I change it to level -1, there is just this part of the stadium with all these areas outside the stadium, because this is another level of this venue, and you cannot see, and you don't want to see the route for the VIPs because there is no place for them to be in here. But at this level, at level 0, you want to see that because they are entering this level. Some of the routes are the same. I mean, you can copy them from one level to another level, and that was another one of our challenges we had. How to show properly to the people and to the LOC members the route and the walkway for the people going through different levels, just to show you how we did it. So on these parkings on one side and this side, we had parkings for the VIPs. And when you take a look on these blue lines, these are the entering and access control for the VIPs. So they were entering from both sides with these blue lines and entering the venue. You can close it up, and they were entering the staircase in here. And when you change the view for the ground ground level, for the level 0, you can start printing and drawing the lines from this way. So yeah, it was very useful for us, because if you close up the view, it's really close, and you just see one part of the stadium, and you know exactly where you are. If you change the level now, you are at the same point at the stadium, but on another level. You don't need to compare where you are. You are not lost. It's in the same place, just higher. So yeah, it's really useful.
Okay, and I think your layers are well structured, so you can display only the elements for maybe for all the VIPs, the area, the flows, etc. And then with our print model, you can share some layer to some people if you do not want to display some information regarding the security. You can undisplay it and only export the PDF with the elements you need to share with the people who will receive the data.
Yes. When I turn on the visibility of all the layers, there is a bit of mess. When I created the maps, me and venue manager, we knew what is what and who is who and what area or what line means what. But when talking, let's say, with the media team or with the VIP manager, we didn't want to show everything because it would be really difficult for them to understand, and there are too many elements for them. So you can just turn off the visibility of all the layers and turn on again, like the VIP flow, only for them and only to show them where it is and what you want to show them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for all your feedbacks and your works. And just to conclude our webinar, I would ask you what are the main benefits for you using short venue with some feedbacks on that?
The main benefit is to have everything at the same in one tool and the one place, and you can input all the data you need, all the graphics you need in one place, and then just click turn on and turn off the visibility of them. So if you want all of them, you can see all of them. If you don't want to see all of them, you can turn on visibility of just one particular group of the elements. And for me, it was really nice to have all of these elements at one space and one tool, because I could compare. Let's say in here, the green line is the route for the athletes, and the purple one is for the TV, for the broadcasters. They had to enter the warm-up just to record some videos. But in general, they couldn't mix. They could do it only at this area at the stadium, only in here. But so you can see it was our crucial point in here, because they could, in general, they could mix here. So we needed to have like one security guy in this space to allow them to walk through. Okay, so when they saw some athlete arriving, they just stop, or the athlete or the broadcaster, not to walk. They couldn't mix because of the pandemic. And we could easily find this warning at the stadium, like one possible point of some possible obstacles or some problems. So yeah, it was for us. It was really useful and nice to find out if there are any problems or some other issues we need to think of.
Okay, thank you very much, Mateusz. On my side, it was a pleasure to work with you. We will conclude this webinar, Liz. Alicia, do you have some question on that, or Henri?
I did. I just had a quick one. Did the stadium ever get worried that you were potentially showing so much information? Because usually when you've got sort of CAD drawings, it's, you know, an A4 and you can't really see the external. Did that ever come up, that people could really see exactly how to get into certain areas? And
no, they didn't worry about that, because we have okay, just to show you everything, how it worked. So there was the stadium crew and the stadium owner, which was like 50 or 70 people. They work all together at the stadium every day. And we had another external LOC. Most of us with the LOC team and the stadium, we knew each other because we have worked together before. We did together some events, and we knew each other very well. So they were not really. They believed us and they trusted us, so they were not scared about, you know, sharing all this important information, and they knew that we are going to use all these plans only for the purposes of this event. We are not going to share it external, and for the people who are not in the LOC or who are not involved in the event. So, as I said, when we wanted to share some knowledge with the people, with the fans, we had graphic designer, and he did the maps like it should be, to share the information the people want, the people need, and the people understand. Because if I show them the map, or let me again share my screen. if we share the map like this to the people, they would not even understand what is what. Of course, from the security point of view, if someone wants to use this data, he will use. But our LOC, we knew the stadium, we had the plans, and we had to do everything properly with the maps and with the plans. It's not possible to do such a big event and complicated event without working on plans. So there was no problem with getting the approval and access from the stadium.
And to ensure you, Alicia, with our system of user access right management, some people have access to dedicate content and the other no. And if you have multiple venues, you can decide it to allow some people to have access to venue A and to the people venue B, etc. And if you like to, you can open some restricted users, so there only be a viewer of the data, and then you can decide it to say, okay, this viewer will see only the VIP elements and the other, etc., etc. So you understand, you can split in a little pieces, in a little slice, the different data to the people who need that.
Yeah, no, that's good. And my other question was just with the CADs, were they marked up first, like how you had that blue layer? Were they marked up first and then imported in, or can you actually mark them up if you just uploaded a fully blank CAD? Could you actually sort of, block color a medical room blue? Can you go into that level, or they need to be marked up first?
I have the answer on that. Sorry, Mateusz.
Yes, I wanted you to answer this question.
Okay. So we have a huge skill in terms of CAD integration. Depending on your, even if your CAD is maybe more or less complete or not. If you have already put some, as we said, business keys into your CAD file with the color, and you said this this space is used for the medical room, etc., we can import it in source venue. So all your job you have done into a CAD, into Autodesk or with a CAD file, we can upload it directly into source venue, and we have made that for the IOC for the Olympic game in Paris for proof of concept. They give us a CAD file with multiple color, with multiple business keys already placed into the map, and we have developed some processes to integrate all your elements into your CAD file, even if it's a chair, even if it's a desk, even if it's a flow, etc., etc. We have the possibility to integrate multiple CAD files types.
And so then, do you have a tool as well? So once the CADs are uploaded, I think I saw in the example you had some bays sort of marked up in the stadium, some seating. Can you actually count seats, or that is a physical, like if you zoom in enough you can count them, or can you actually sort of, is there a way you can sort of measure that and count?
For that, we do not count the seats into source venue. That means that we should recreate a space for each seat inside your stadium. So at the end, it would be very consuming in terms of displayed information. But you can create some large space into your tribune, into your stands, and say in the space A, there is 200 people allow in this space. And then we can take this information and put it in source venue like a description of the space. So it's very possible to make that. More your CAD file is detailed, better is it at the end for using source venue.
Yeah. So, for example, if you had, because I think the other example you showed on Monday, was it? If you knew that a media tribune was, I don't know, 3 meters long, you could mark that up and sort of create an icon, create a Tribune, and then you could just multiply that. So then you would know that you can fit 20 people in a row, and you can sort of increase that or decrease it. Is that something that you could do in the?
Yeah, we can do that. But for them, one of the most important step before using Sword Venue is to discuss with our customer about the CAD file and know exactly what they would like to have into Sword Venue in terms of splitting some area, merge some area, define the different level, etc., etc. So it's a important steps for us with our customer. And even if you have some updates in your CAD file, we have some guidelines. We have produced some guidelines for our customer to explain them what kind of AutoCAD we need to implement it into Sword Venue. So if you have already created some layer into your CAD file, if you have already created some, as I said, external spaces, line, row, etc., we will uploaded all this material into Sword Venue.
Gotcha.
So the CAD file is not now a big deal for us. We can recreate some outdoor Tribune. You can multiply this Tribune. It's not you can copy paste your CAD file Tribune into Sword Venue to another element into Sword Venue. So when you have one element into Sword Venue, you can do what you want, copy paste, delete, etc., move into another space. It's very easy to do so with our solution.
Eric?
And
yes, Henri?
Just one quickie to Mateusz. Have you been asked to interface or to export any data out of Sword Venue into another software? I'm thinking of things like well, number of seats or things that could be used for accounting purposes in another software.
Sorry, sorry, I just muted myself. No, I have not been asked about that because for the counting purposes, we had Excel sheets. We got every data from the stadium. So we didn't need to count the seats because they have done it before and they have done. So we just got the Excel file, which was divided to different sectors and different blocks and even different rows. So for the counting purposes, we had just Excel sheets, and it was convenient for us. Maybe because the event in general was closed for the fans, but when we started in September, we didn't know about that, and we didn't know if the fans will be allowed to enter or not. So we had to be prepared for that, and we had to do all this work in advance, although we didn't know if the fans will be allowed in or not.
Okay, but so then question to Eric, would it be possible, is it possible in Sword Venue to export pieces of data into other software in a seamless way without manual intervention?
Yeah, it can be. So I just need to know what kind of data, because all the data into Sword Venue are always geo-referenced. So when we export some file, we export a multiple of point of geo-reference in the map. But we can imagine to export some description, some text into each spaces, or we can imagine another thing that we can take some data from external sources and display this data directly into Sword Venue, and to have a map contextualization of data. So you can have some visitor flow tool, so we can integrate the visitor flow data into sort venue, the revenue of all your concession live. So if you have some tools, I prefer to talk about the other way to exchange data. So the other data can bring us some information, and then we can display into sort venue some data regarding the revenue of the buvette, different visitor flow, or whatever you have some data to display directly into the map, because for the map is very important in terms of event setup, and afterwards for the live event data could be directly uploaded into sort venue, but we can imagine to import data into another system.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Alicia, do you have one more question?
Yeah, I just have one more. So I was just thinking about working the time difference, I guess, and working late at night, like Mateusz said. If 50% of the icons were already uploaded, were you able to upload more yourself, or that would be an email for someone else to do that?
The upload of the CAD file to sort venue?
No, just any of the icons that were on the map, like the bus stop.
Feel free. You can be totally autonomous to import your own icon set if you have one. So it's totally possible to create your own icon and to upload it directly into sort venue. So it's easy like ABC, so or 1, 2, 3.
Great, thank you.
C'est une petite dédicace à Michael Jackson. So thank you very much for this webinar. Again, Mateusz, thank you for your job. Thank you for the collaboration, and thank you for the feedbacks. And for the other, I hope that you have built your own vision of sort venue and what you can do with our solution and with our multiple models. So feel free to ask us some questions if you have more questions. You want to conclude, Liz?
No, thanks a lot for the participation, and thank you, Mateusz, for your work before, and feel free to contact us, as Eric said, that if needed. Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.